Hello, pup parents, and welcome to today's episode of the Perfect Pup Podcast. My name is Devin. I'm excited, but also a little grossed out by today's topic, which is why do dogs eat poop? How to stop it, different facts about why dogs eat poop and dogs and poop eating. It's disgusting, but we're going to talk about it because it is disgusting. That is for sure. So let's get right into it. And for today's quick Pupdate, as we like to call it, this one's really just kind of goofy, but there is a service dog named Dolly Parton, like Parton, but paw. And that this is mostly for Mike, one of the co-founders of Pupford. He loves the song 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton. And in this article, they make a 9 to 5 reference, and this dog's name is Dolly Parton. But service animals are awesome. That's the main reason I wanted to share this. There's so much that they can help with. This dog in particular helps their pup parent with issues like mobility, heart and blood pressure, and emotional issues. So very awesome story. Very amazing name. I love it. Okay, so let's dive into why dogs eat poop. First off, I want to read you a couple little facts done from a study about dogs and eating poop and those types of things. I'm going to read some of them because I want to get them right. So if you're watching on video, that's what I'm looking at. But so this study found, this was a study of over 1,000 dogs. They found that female dogs are more likely to eat poop than males. Dogs that live in multi-dog households are more likely than single-dog households. These are gross. 92% of the poop eaters preferred fresh 1 to 2 day old poop. 85% of dogs that eat poop don't want to eat their own. They like the other dogs better. And this one's important. Dogs that tend to steal food off tables tend to eat poop. So dogs that are getting animal or human scraps. So first off, let's answer the question of, is it bad for your dog to eat poop? Because if we want to look at it from an animal and evolutionary standpoint of, dogs way back when did come from wolves in one sense or another. And, animals out in the wild, they're going to eat whatever they can to survive. So I think it is important to keep that in mind, that our dogs are animals. I know it's gross. That was one of the first things I said about this topic, but dogs are animals, and eating poop to them is not, they don't look at it the same way that we do, right? They don't understand it in that fashion. But so that was just kind of a little side tangent. But the question of, is it bad for your dog to eat poop? So there are some problems that can arise from poop eating. I can't believe this is like a topic, like how many times I'm going to say the word poop on this podcast, which is hilarious. But you should try to prevent your dog from eating poop as much as possible, especially if they're animals, whether that be other dogs or like cow, or I don't know, if you live on like a farm area, any other type of animal's poop, you should try to not have your dog eat it, just because sometimes there are like parasites or things that can be found in poop, or just different bacteria, and you don't know what that other animal is eating and what issues they might have. So in general, best practice to avoid it. But most people are often wondering why. So the question of why do dogs eat poop, let's dive into some of, I think, the main reasons as to why it happens. And this is based off of studies that have been done, just general conversation between pup parents and my own observances. So number one, I think one of the big things is just boredom, or other kind of emotional type things, like they're bored, they're anxious, they're stressed out, they're uncomfortable, maybe they're not feeling well. Those are really big culprits as to why dogs eat poop, especially the boredom one. Let's just be real here for a minute. I've caught my dogs eating poop way more times than I wish that I have. We have a dog door, and so my dogs can go in and out, and so I'm not always there to pick up their poop as it happens, and I have 3 dogs, and so you can imagine that sometimes it happens. And generally what I've seen is when it happens the most is when I can look back very quickly and say, oh, we did not give the dogs the mental or physical exercise they needed today. They're often bored. They're looking for something to do. So that's one of the big culprits. Another reason it can often just be related to the diet that they're having, and that can have, in different ways. So it might be that they're not getting enough food, so they're actually just hungry. Maybe they're being underfed. They may not be getting enough nutrients or enzymes in their diet. and then just general lack of calories as well. So those are some of the main culprits. But then again, above all, like for a dog, dogs look at if they can eat something with no repercussion, great, and they're going to do it. And so again, that is one reason, like they are dogs. It's not the same as to them as it is to us. Okay, so let's talk about how to stop your dog from eating poop. Number one, controlling the environment. Man, I think that's the case for most behaviors. Obviously, doesn't apply to everything, but for so many behaviors, it's about controlling the environment. So, if your dog, like in my case, my dogs, pretty much the only time they eat poop is if they go into the backyard and I'm not back there and there's poop that hasn't been picked up. So, number one, pick up your dog's poop, period. Don't leave it out. As soon as they go to the bathroom, if you're on a walk, as soon as they go to the bathroom, pick it up. Don't give them the opportunity. If the poop is not there, it cannot be eaten, period. Like we have to break it down that simple because that's just how it is. Of course, you will have some instances where, maybe your dog, maybe as you're going through potty training, they had an accident you didn't notice, or they had an accident in their crate and they eat it in there. Like there will always be cases like that. And you may even have dogs who, I have heard this, I've seen it in our, private Facebook community, which you should join if you haven't already. It's just search 30 Day Perfect Pup in Facebook and you'll find the group. But I have seen people who have said their dog will literally, like as soon as the poop hits the ground, they turn around and they're starting to eat it. So that's obviously I don't think the norm for most people and their dogs, but that's the biggest thing is to pick it up. Don't give them the opportunity to have it. Second way to stop your dog from eating poop is mental stimulation and exercise. Like I mentioned before, boredom, it's often a huge culprit for problem behaviors like eating poop, like digging, like, barking, whatever it might be. And so making sure your dog has enough mental and physical exercise throughout the day. So what I mean by mental exercise is things that are going to work their mind, work their nose, really get them thinking. Just like with us as humans, you can go out for a jog. That's your physical exercise, but if you sit down and you're doing like homework or really critical thinking or something like that, like you're going to feel tired after that as well. It's a little bit of a different tired than if you went for a jog, but it still helps kind of you feel more tired, and the same goes for our dogs. So for mental exercise, you can check out things like lick mats, which are basically like just a little pad that has grooves in it, and you can smear peanut butter on it. You can smear dehydrated dog food, applesauce, all kinds of different things. You can check out snuffle mats. So snuffle mats are like almost like a shag carpet in a sense, and you can sprinkle treats and hide treats in there, and your dog forages for it. There's foraging boxes. There's specific like toys where you put treats in and they have to move it around to get it to come out. There are so many different things you can do to mentally exercise your dog. If you're looking for ideas, we do have an enrichment activities course as part of the Pupford Academy. It can be worth checking out. But it's important to keep that in mind. Another way to stop your dog from eating poop is supplements. There are some supplements out there. And if it's a major issue, you need to talk to your vet because it might be a sign of other things. And it's actually, it is a real like diagnosable thing in some cases with dogs. It's called coprophagia, and it is, it is dogs who habitually eat poop. And so you can talk to your vet or behaviorist and try to see if they might have ideas on supplements. There are some like over-the-counter type things that you can buy that are supposed to make your dog's poop taste a certain way and keep them from eating it. Some people say they work, some people say they don't. So that's just kind of the case on those. And then obviously that doesn't fix if your dog is eating another dog's poop. So something to think about. But those are some of the ways that you can help reduce it. Again, controlling the environment. Number 2 would be proper mental and physical exercise. And then number 3 would be, supplements and talking to your vet if it's becoming a major issue. And one of the last things I want to talk about is just like sorry if you're watching on video, just shook the whole camera. But one of the other things I want to talk about is punishment in regards to a dog eating poop. So the fact of the matter is, if you, for example, if like in my case, if you have a dog door, your dog has the capability to just kind of roam in the backyard, and then you go up to them and you can smell that they ate poop or something like that. If you were to try and do any form of punishment for that, it's not going to stick. They're not going to understand why. You have a very short window as to when you can either give a punishment or a reward for your dog. So it's something to keep in mind, that you shouldn't be, even if it's after the fact, but even if you see them right in the moment, there's no sense in punishing them, because there are studies after studies that talk about and show that if you punish your dog, it has worse effects, because what'll start happening is they might have a negative association with you for the punishment. And like I talked about earlier, one of the causes of why dogs eat poop is stress and fear and anxiety. And so if you punish them, it's only going to make them more stressed, more fearful, more anxious, and more likely to eat poop. So when it happens, you can give a no, just a simple no or or something like that, redirect them away. And then just from there, you need to try the other steps, which is, controlling the environment, working on the leave it behavior as well. Sorry, that's one I kind of forgot to mention, but you can teach the behavior called leave it. And we cover this in the free 30-day Perfect Pup class. It's also available in the Pupford app. If you go into train by behavior and then leave it, essentially you're teaching your dog to leave things alone that are desirable to them. And you start very simply by, putting a treat in your hand. When they go for it, you close your hand. As soon as they show restraint and stop trying to get the treat, you mark and reward, and you build up from there. I won't go completely into how to teach leave it, but please go download the Pupford app and look and watch the video about leave it and look at me combo. Just teaching your dog that impulse control is so important, and one way that it can help your dog. So just as a quick recap, dogs, they're not going to be grossed out by it like we are. That's like one important thing to remember, that for them, it's not disgusting. And so we have to just do our best as the pup parent, as the human, to help control their environment, make sure that they're not bored, make sure that their diet is adequate and they have the proper nutrients and enzymes that they need. And if it is very bad and it seems habitual or problematic, you need to talk to a vet or a behaviorist. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Wow, I don't think I've ever said the word poop that many times in a 13, 14 minute span. But hey, that's the part of being like a pup parent, is you deal with some gross things, you deal with some weird things. We are all, we're all in that same boat together, where you're carrying around your dog's poop in a bag. I mean, when you look at that on a more, just the level that we're doing that as humans, it's hilarious. But I digress. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave a review, or, send an email to hello@pupford.com. Give us feedback on these podcast episodes. We really do enjoy doing them. We want to continue and want to hear your guys' feedback. So thank you so much for listening, and we will see you guys on the next episode.